Howdy. Welcome back to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So, technical difficulties. Stormy will hopefully be here in a little bit. We were trying to get him to actually run the stream. You know, complications, technology, things happen. Jamie's a little bit sickly, but he might be able to pop in for a little bit here. But we might have some other folks just popping in and out of here, which will be fun. Chaz and I, our new resident editor, and your old resident Texan around here. We will be running it for a little bit, just probably a 45, 50-minute stream. Not a huge, long one like typical, but, just hanging out, having a good time. Howdy, Peter. Howdy, Laura. Howdy, Monk. Yeah. Jay's on edge right now. He's been texting us. It's been funny. He might not be able to make it on. There's always something, but we're hopefully going to see him in a few minutes. He might try to pop in. We'll see. But howdy, Sarah. Howdy, Tony. David. Did I just pull something up from David a second ago? No, I didn't. And there he is again, the man, the myth. Mr. Ed up here. Howdy, man. And Ken. Thought for the day, should they bring back Space 99? Maybe. If they did it right. If they bring anything back right, hey, it's good. If it's storytelling first and foremost, yeah, we can all be happy about it. But if it's not, and it's just a reboot for the sake of a reboot, we'll see. Howdy, Michael. Drunk Jay. Most likely it is that time in England. Brain Pain. Howdy. What's Tony saying up in here? The premise for Space 1999 needs to be updated by a lot, but that would be a cool show to watch. Who would be the main actors? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. The premise needs to be updated, and the storytelling would be first and foremost, obviously. But if you can manage those two things, you could have a good show. The next big thing would be having a good set of actors and good set of producers, etc., etc. The only great thing about Space 1999 was the Eagle transporter. But Tony has asked y'all, who would you like, per se, as the rebooted Space 1999 people? Would have to be 2099. That's an actual good idea. I like it. Between The Boys and House of the Dragon, we have it good right now. Looking forward to seeing what happens with House of the Dragon. Today is our final show for our Good, Clean, Wholesome Fun thing that we keep doing. That one that I showed y'all last week. It's the half-naked me on the poster, which we might talk to you about in a little bit, But, it's our last day in that, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get to House of the Dragon, on time, and I might be freaking out. There are a couple other cast members of ours that are real big fans of it, so I'm hoping we can kind of say, hey, I know we're in the middle of a party right now, but do you want to take an hour out for House of the Dragon? Because we're totally starting a cast party and, friends party as well at 6 p.m. when the frickin' episode drops, so we'll see what happens. Sets were always believed. $21.99. Ooh, that'd be a good one, too. Yeah, just push it 100 years instead of 1,000. That'd be, honestly, where the hell are we going to be in $21.99? We can try to look super far in the future and figure that out. We can try to think 5 years ahead of time, and we're like, all right, well, this AI kind of makes it complicated. Can't really have a good gauge on that. But where are we going to be in 100 years? Y'all have any idea? Y'all ever ponder that one? Lady Gaga as a shapeshifter? It's possible. It is possible, Ken. Mark Wahlberg as Colonel Koenig. That'd be cool. I like Mark Wahlberg. I want Mark Wahlberg to get a couple more roles in him that aren't, strictly Mark Wahlberg roles. I want him to act and not just be Mark Wahlberg in another role for maybe a couple more movies. That'd be fun. Not. I prefer it for every single one of his films if he was truly acting and not quote unquote phoning it in. I don't think he phones it in really. He's a hard worker, but he's just playing himself typically. So I'd love him to get actual more acting roles. Set that aside, but we'll see. More like Blade Runner 2049, 2099, 29. Did that come out yet? 2049. I know Blade Runner 2099. Isn't that an anime? Because they had 2039 and 2029 or something like that. Couple little anime shorts like that. They had one other anime short. And wasn't there an animated movie coming out called 2099? Or am I just conjuring ideas up in my brain? If not, hey, Ridley Scott, please. I'll be dead in 100 years. Or will you, Laura? This AI stuff is going to keep us kicking. I don't know how. We're all going to be transhumans. Not like, you know what I mean? Not actual. Well, transhumanism is like robots, people, cyborgy kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, but whatever floats your boat, you know. Orbiting Uran. Ayo. Uran. Uran and Urath. Have y'all seen Invincible? When Seth Rogen's character, Alan, he's an alien in there, tries to find Urath, but instead he finds Earth. It is funny. So I'll be on the ground. Maybe not. Maybe not. We're hoping. If a zombie apocalypse happens, you could also still be walking around for that. Sarah's brought up an excellent point here. And it is possible. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to survive. I'm just saying. If I die, it's not going to be my fault. It's going to be, well, it might be my fault. I do tend to put myself in some dumb situations every now and then. But I would like to think I'd survive. I'm a Texas boy, born and bred in the swamps, near Louisiana. I can handle myself. But also, zombie apocalypse, it's kind of like living in LA, where I might be a decent driver and I've never hit anybody while being in Los Angeles, but I've been hit 3 or 4 times just from driving, because that amount of dumbasses is going to end up getting you hit eventually. I would think zombie apocalypse would have similar rules, Chaz, what you thinking back there? You going to survive a zombie apocalypse?
No, probably not, honestly.
That was depressing. That one's sad.
Well, that's a realistic standpoint. Yeah. Everyone always thinks you're going to be the one survivor, but the reality is you're going to be one of the million zombies.
True. I was hoping for like a fun and exciting scenario here, and just reality check.
Well, that's the reality.
I mean, it is the reality. I would think you have a decent chance, but. Yeah, that's the thing. I know I have a great chance. I'm an Eagle Scout. I've lived in the wild by myself for weeks at a time. I ain't worried about it. But it's not you that's going to get you killed. It's somebody else that's going to get you killed, or the environment you're in, or you're trying to put yourself in a crazy environment to go get medicine, food, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like that's whenever you get screwed up. I'm hoping not. Offer zombie Guinness. Hey, if they weren't slow before, they're going to be slow after that, so. This looks like it should be beer or anything else, but it's just water. I gotta wake up. It's only 10 o'clock over here, and I'm getting ready for the show and everything today. So, gotta be alive over here. Driving in Miami, Florida is worse than a zombie apocalypse. Hey, I live in Los Angeles currently, and I only choose to live here for 2 reasons: movies and a little ganjier, But good Lord. Miami traffic is god-awful as well. So anywhere that there is god-awful traffic, I think we are preemptively preparing for the zombie apocalypse to some degree. Put zombies in a... Ooh. That'd be a fun freaking sci-fi movie. Okay, Chaz, thought exercise. You ready? Come up with just a random BS script idea off of this. Put zombies in a treadmill, free energy. What would happen? Sci-fi movie, not horror focused because of the free energy aspect. Make it more sci-fi. Can we do it? Let's just do something stupid and silly for 2 minutes.
So what are you trying to? What are you asking?
Just making a script concept out of this idea. Put zombies in a treadmill, free energy. We need y'all's help. Help us out. Let's come up with something. We're at 10 minutes, 15 seconds. At 14 minutes, we're pausing it, and that's our story. You ready? Like zombies meet the Matrix. Oh shit, I wasn't gonna take it that far. Okay, we're gonna run with that. Zombies meet the Matrix. Zombies are walking on treadmills in giant pods like people were placed in the Matrix, and they obviously are getting free energy off of them. Do they have to coerce the zombies to continue walking? Because zombies typically are pretty stagnant. They don't move unless there's food to be put in front of them. And that food typically does have to be fresh, correct? So you do need fresh food dangling out in front of them that's going to be at least protein-based. So you have to have like some kind of farm that is able to feed the zombies per se. Would it be chickens? Or where are we thinking? Brains on a piece of string. Hey, perfect, Peter. That is actually perfect. Criminals are bait to motivate zombies. Same thing as brains on a piece of string, I guess, in some societies, and that's what this society will be running off of. Okay. This is kind of fun. Unemployed pit on the treadmill, green energy. I was gonna ask, do they need a brain like a dangling carrot? A brain like a dangling carrot. What? Ooh. What if? What if? I'm just thinking Futurama after we're talking about brains for a second here. Be right back. Food delivery coming. Of course, Tony. You can be listen to us talking about brains by the time you're back. Will that depend on how one defines who is a criminal? Exactly. But I'm thinking this would be a strict society if they're even doing that in general. So they're trying to find people to, coerce these zombies. A kebab on a string, you might even say. Okay, so we've got Matrix-like zombies with a brain in front of them. I'm thinking to add my little Futurama-isms here. Futurama has brains in a jar, people's heads in a jar. Why don't we have almost a Futurama/Fallout kind of thing here? Halal. God damn it. Kidding. You're throwing me off. Brains like Fallout or Futurama would have in a jar at the end of the zombies things. They're still technically alive, so maybe hardened criminals that are deemed too hard to put back on the street or too hard to rehabilitate, they are put into, their brains at least, are put into a little tank, little back to tank, little septic tank kind of thing. And that is used as the carrot to get the zombie kind of moving and grooving, to get that free energy. But the brain's still alive, so it is still technically a sentence for the human being that's brains is in the jar. They can give motivation to the zombie. So they can talk back if they want to. It's kind of useless, but it's to allow them not to go too crazy. Didn't Atlantis do this where criminals were wraith bait? There was wraith bait. Yes, there was. Yeah, but they didn't have dangling jars in front of people. All-encompassing halal, as they would say. All right, so we have the energy basis and the way they deal with criminals for this world. We're world building over here. We're at 13 minutes. We have 1 minute left. Fungoids are the new zombies. Yeah, honestly, I never played Last of Us, but I literally have an entire, and it's not the same type of fungal zombies or whatever that are in The Last of Us, because I've never played it. I've only watched the one episode of TV, or one season of TV, excuse me. I did, however, already have an entire, I still do have an entire few television series and a couple movies plotted out on a little fungal zombie apocalyptic world that I wrote out a few years ago myself. Not in the same vein, more of a general zombie, but based on it's interesting. But back to our zombies currently, because we have hit our time mark. But as Monk is saying, who gets credit for the story rights here if this is optioned? And who are we trying to option this with? Are we dropping this on MGM because they're kind of our local folks that we do like to discuss with a lot of times? Or we're going to bring it to maybe Prime proper. We're going to go to Paramount Plus, really get in there with Sherry Redstone before she drops the company. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Fungus versus Undead. That'd be another fun movie. That'd be a whole nother thought exercise. Could we incorporate that thought exercise into our zombie one? Going back to Space 99, do you think the eagle will ever exist? Always appealed as real? Let's pull it up. Space 1999 Eagle. Just to give everyone that visual. No, I have to stop this screen, and I have to put up another screen. Share screen with everybody. Here we are. Okay, y'all can see what I'm seeing. That's good to know. Space 1999, the Eagle. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved the way this thing looks. It looks far more realistic. Honestly, this feels like something that could be in Starfield. I'm pretty sure Starfield has this. I'm pretty sure they've built this multiple times. I'm pretty positive there have been a bunch of people making this in honestly, watch. In Starfield. Let's see. Yeah, look, literally people have been making it in Starfield. Maybe not it to the T. That's pretty close. That's pretty darn close. But as close as they can get. I'm pretty sure I've had a ship that looks like that in Starfield. And I didn't play a whole bunch of Starfield. Probably 70 hours, but there are people that put in a couple thousand, a few hundred minimum, which 70 hours is very little for me in a Bethesda game. I don't play many video games, but when it comes to those Bethesdas, yeah. I do. I try. Fungus versus Undead. This seems like an A24 property, if you ask me, or Blumhouse. Yes. Can we be the first A24 and Blumhouse co-produced, co-financed film here? Could we manage? See, Jerry Anderson. Jerry! Yeah. Well, okay. So are we done with our thought exercise over here? Are we done? Hold up. I can use this. Are we done brain painting? I'm cheesy. I had to. I knew it was up there. I had to utilize it because we're brain painting over here for some of these zombies. But yeah. What have you all seen this week? Chaz, let me ask you. What have you watched this week that has been interesting TV-wise, movie-wise, et cetera? Anything good?
Just watched that Acolyte episode earlier this week, which was mediocre at best, but still the best episode they had.
So go check out that Acolyte episode of our watch party and or afterthoughts. This week on Tuesday, we're going to kind of combine the two and do them all in one stream to kind of make sure we're not saying the same thing over and over again. Obviously, it's okay to do that when you have more people and can discuss things on that second day. But it is a whole nother stream that is kind of like an extra hour. So we're going to combine those 2 hours together and just do 2.5 hours at once. Yeah. Michelle Yeoh was cast in Blade Runner 2099. IMDb has it in production. Ooh. I like all three of these things. Movies in production. Blade Runner in general, especially if it's an anime. Well, not especially. I just like Blade Runner in general, but I do love me some Blade Runner anime. And then Michelle frickin' Yeoh. You can't go wrong with Michelle Yeoh. Howdy, Batmole. How are you? That's good. Michelle, yeah, I love Michelle. Everything's better with a little Michelle Yeoh in it. Hummus Hero, that is an amazing name. Thank you for being you. That's great. I'm going to go around the middle of Hollywood Boulevard later today and yell, Hummus Hero! And just see if anybody responds. And I bet you somebody will. It's Hollywood. People just go with things sometimes, Michelle Yeoh, though, y'all remind me, because y'all know I'm not the biggest Star Trek person, and I do struggle to stay up to date 100% on everything Star Trek. I'm pretty up to date for someone who doesn't watch much Star Trek or any Star Trek, truly. But did the Michelle Yeoh Star Trek get canceled, if I remember correctly? Because I know it was going to be a big thing, and then it kind of got dropped immediately, right? Just out of the blue. I don't remember off the top of my head, but remind me if Michelle Yeoh's doing her Star Trek. It wasn't Star Trek Nemesis. What was it going to be called again? Star Trek, not Voyager, not Discovery, obviously like that. It was Section 31. That's the one. I've named so many different random things, but it was Section 31 if I remember correctly, right? Peter just got a new OLED monitor for his PC, which is awesome. We'll now watch more stuff. Come watch us. It's a movie now. Oh, so okay, that's what it is. It didn't get scrapped. It got turned from a television show into a film. Okay, that's right. See, I don't watch Star Trek. I should probably catch up to a lot of it. Yep, Section 31. There we go. Fourth, fifth time the charm, something like that. It just got turned into a film. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I love Michelle Yeoh, and I like her in television series because it allows her to kind of expand all that we get from her, but I think I much prefer her in a film. Just the few TV shows that I've seen that she's in, they're never awful because of her, but the ones I've seen are pretty bad, and I haven't seen her in a bunch of TV. I'm really thinking about that Witcher miniseries that came out 2 years ago, not the main Witcher series, but the one that she's in and a couple other people are in. It kind of goes back and forth timeline-wise in it, which is interesting, especially for like fantasy stuff like that. But it was not a good series. But I know she's in. It's not the Warriors or whatever the hell it is. She has got a series on Netflix, and I believe she's got a series on HBO Max, and both of those are series I've been told I need to watch. So, Star Trek over Star Wars. When it comes to sci-fi, sure, but when it comes to quality film that's actually entertaining to watch, Star Wars all day. Star Trek, though, if you want to think a little more with some more poise, yeah, all day for sure. I do need to catch up with some Star Trek. All I've ever seen is the J.J. Abrams stuff, and I know. But Stargate is the thing that bridges the gap for all of us everywhere, and it is always fantastic, and it's always going to be there. And we're going to get more, because y'all saw in my Facebook post yesterday, I think, in the Facebook group. Let me pull it up for those that haven't seen it. While we were in Hollywood the other night at, speak of the devil, the Star Wars bar, the Scum and Villainy Cantina, shout out to them because they're freaking awesome. There's always a bunch of fun cosplay stuff going on. There's a bunch of fun Star Wars stuff everywhere, of course. There's a big old, like, Harry Potter section. There's a big old Indiana Jones section, kind of Lucasfilmy in general. I think there's some Willow stuff up in there, so it really does kind of encompass Lucasfilm. And then there's a bunch of other, like, little knickknacks from different properties. And then all the bartenders / people that just like food run and stuff like that in the restaurant / bar, they all cosplay to work. So we were served, very beginning, we were greeted, I guess, by Waluigi, and then we were served by a member of Vault 33 from Fallout. So that was fun. But this good man back here ran to the restroom at a certain point and came back with the biggest smile on his face, and I was like, what happened in there, And then 2 seconds later, he's like, just follow me. And I'm like, all right, okay, what's going on? Turn around the corner, and who do we see? Jaffa Kree! We see beautiful Stargate things. So excited. I was ecstatic about these things. Stargate in public, in the middle of Hollywood, which is a beautiful sight to see. Literally, the last little paragraph I put in the post was actually, though, this is so cool to see in such a public place. Bartenders all cosplay for work, so on and so forth. And I can't wait to walk in and see someone Stargate cosplay one day, because we will walk in there one day, and one of those bartenders will be cosplaying something from Stargate, and you just know how happy I'm gonna be that day. I'm just gonna freak out internally and then probably externally a bit as well, and it's gonna be probably really funny. If you see a good clip online, you'll know exactly what happened. You heard it here first. But one day they will do some Stargate cosplay in there. I might even walk in with some Stargate cosplay one day. I can imagine walking in, seeing Dr. Daniel Jackson, seeing some Vala, seeing, I don't know, anybody. Give me some Samantha Carter. So I can really imagine somebody doing Teal'c. Teal'c is probably the easiest one. Just, slap something up on your forehead and go to work. Wear a black shirt and some green pants and you're set. But then again, black shirt, green pants can kind of encompass anybody in Stargate, which is great. But yeah, no, I can't wait to walk in that bar one day and see someone doing some Stargate cosplay. It's going to make me happy. It was crazy. Michelle Yeoh, during her Hong Kong days, Super Cap was awesome. Oh, anything she ever filmed in Hong Kong was phenomenal. The best title ever. Is it Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger? It's one of the two. And then what's the other one I'm forgetting? I literally just saw it when it got re-released right alongside, not alongside, but near the same time that the Star Wars 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi was re-released in theaters. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Okay, yeah. What's the other one that I can't think of off the top of my head right now? She did it right around, I think, late 80s, early 90s. I think it was like a 91-ish. Is it that one? And I'm just, hold up. I'm going to type this in real quick because that's going to drive me wild. Michelle Yeoh movies. Yeah. Give me the good 90s era right here. Super Cop 2, also good. Oh, come on now. Stunt Woman, Wing Chun. Wing Chun's a good one. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. What I mean, I knew I was thinking of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. What else is she in right there that is making me think of that? Maybe one of these Jet Li's. I don't know. Anyway, Michelle Yeoh's freaking phenomenal as always, and I can't wait to see her in more sci-fi things, because I think between doing the Star Trek stuff she did a few years ago and Everything Everywhere All at Once, which won her freaking Oscars, which even though I wouldn't have voted for her in the year that she won the Oscars, undoubtedly Michelle Yeoh deserves an Oscar. So that is beside the point. I would have gone for Cate Blanchett Tar that year, but besides the point, again, she won an Oscar for a sci-fi property, and I think that's reinvigorated her a lot for sci-fi and stuff like that, which got her to sign on for this television show that turned into a film, Section 31, so on and so forth. I hope she continues to do more, and I think she will. I think she will. I think there's so many rich properties that she would do really well with. I read a book. I want to say it's written by Ernest Cline. Don't quote me on that. I might just be saying an author that pops into my head. But the book itself, it's not Ernest Cline. It's not Ernest Cline. It's written, I don't remember who it's written by off the top of my head. But the book is called Paradox Bound. I want to see that turn into a film so bad. It'd be a hard sci-fi, and it'd be a little cosmic. It wouldn't be cosmic horror, but it would be a large-scale cosmic kind of sci-fi. And Paradox Bound would be great if she was in there. And she was in Bond. She's a Bond lady herself, Miss Michelle Yeoh, over there with Pierce Brosnan. I almost said Pierce Rogers for a second. I was like, that's not right. Pierce Brosnan for over there. This is true. Everything Everywhere. I can't even speak. Everything Everywhere All at Once was the multiverse movie. Put Marvel to shame in a big way. And Loki helped them a little bit. Loki did help them a little bit. Multiverse of Madness, while there are some Sam Raimi-isms that I do thoroughly enjoy in that film, I like the horror elements and aspects of it much more than I do the multiverse stuff. When I'm much more in tune, I love horror stuff, but I'm much more in tune to the sci-fi kind of themes, concepts, and elements of things. That's kind of like, that's our bread and butter. That's why we tune into things a lot of the time. And that element, the multiverse aspect of Multiverse of Madness, didn't do what it needed to do. It was conceptually, it did well by giving you the concept, the bare bones, but we didn't go watch a movie titled Multiverse of Madness for bare bone multiverse concepts. We wanted a multiverse of madness, simply put. Tomorrow Never Dies, Jonathan Pryce is also great in that as an evil Rupert Murdoch. Ooh, Jonathan Pryce is great, and Rupert Murdoch, maybe not so much, but great. He's great. Actually, I don't know if he can hire me for anything, so never mind. You have to be careful out here in Hollywood. People get their toes stepped on too easily. It's screwy. Nobody likes jokes, but we tell jokes nonetheless. Which, speaking of jokes, I'll just take a brief second. I don't want to take too much of your time talking about this because we only have so much time to talk about some good old sci-fi. But one thing that is going on today, that if you would be inclined to hang out with us, I'd love for y'all to get tickets to Good, Clean, Wholesome Fun. We're doing a live stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over here, UK time, 10 p.m., but you have access to the stream for a full week after you purchase the tickets. It's a 45-minute sketch comedy show, super easy. It's like a raunchy Seinfeld, raunchy Curb Your Enthusiasm. That Clean and Wholesome is scratched out for a reason, though, so it is a little raunchy, just to give you a heads up. If you use the code, because I'm not letting you pay $13. No. You're live streaming it. If you want to come see it in person in Los Angeles, hey, come pay full price, or we'll still give you a discount one way or another if you're my people. But y'all are my people, so use the codes. You have two options. If you want a $5 ticket and give us an extra $2, say MATTS, MATTS, full caps. If you want a $3 ticket, which you probably should go for that one, then take out good fun and the some aspect of wholesome, and then just type in all caps again, clean whole, and it's a $3 ticket. It's funny. But I really think y'all would enjoy this. It's here, I'll read you our little tagline real quick. Good, clean, wholesome fun's good fun, sometimes replacing that clean and wholesome with hilarity. This sketch comedy play showcases the acting talents from some of LA's best up-and-comers, with an added bonus of the majority of actors being Fringe Festival veterans already. A good chunk of our actors, alongside our directors Ashley McQuestion and Harris McGrade, and the playwright Chamber Stevens, who we're all familiar with, of course, have written sketches as well. A true team effort that has brought forth heaps of laughs and aims to bring you many more. So no pressure at all. I'd love for y'all to come check it out, though. You do get to keep the tickets right here. This is your live stream right here for a week. It's 45 minutes out of your day, $3, and you get a laugh. You get a lot of good laughs, and hopefully we'll be doing some sketch comedy on YouTube. We're going to be doing this yearly if I can afford it. So, sketch comedy is good. It's nice to bring laughs to people's faces. And when you get to see those laughs, it's even better. But when I get to hear about them after a live stream and I get to hear you talk about them all week during our live streams, it makes me even happier. So if you're inclined to help, I'd love you forever. I would love you forever. Fox is owned by the System Lords. Yes, and Murdoch is a goo old. I give you credit for choosing to live in LA. I couldn't do it. Hey, I can't do it most of the time. I try to get out of here as often as possible. It's a good thing. I have such a tight-knit family, so I go back to Texas and visit them all the time, and they come over here and visit me not all the time, but they'll come visit twice a year, and I get to go visit 3, 4, 5 times a year sometimes, and there's always a reason to be down there. This guy back here, our editor, he lives in Austin, here for a month and a half for this show, so while he's dedicating his time to live in this crazy frickin' city, come dedicate 45 minutes, just 45 minutes, and you'll enjoy the hell out of it. It is a little raunchy, but it is something that literally 16-year-olds to 80-year-olds have watched, and everyone's enjoyed it. There's not a soul that hasn't laughed their heart out, like deep belly laughs, which makes me happy because that was what I was worried about the most. As the director-producer for it, I'm like, I just want to make sure people are laughing in these seats, and the laughs per minute is what matters. That's the thing that I keep saying to myself, like laughs per minute. I'm listening for the audience to have that, and they have always been very, very, very high laughs per minute, very loud laughs per minute. So that's all I'll say. I'll probably come back in and say something right before we leave, but besides that, come on. Now, Austin, there's a city I love. The barbecue there. Huh? Yeah, we got a good look on that. Comedy is hard. Comedy's very hard, which makes me that much more proud that the cast has done so well that we are getting the laughs per minute that I was worried about, because we have not faltered in that once, which, hey, if usually I'll take some humble pie on this, but I'm just so damn proud of my cast, honestly, this entire month. This is our last show, last day. They have put in so much work. We've been working on it for a few months. Well, I was in Africa for a month. Thank God we have a co-director, Ashley McQuestion, a good friend of mine. She really picked up the slack that, I'm in Africa for a month in the middle of a jungle, have Wi-Fi for 2 hours a day in the morning and 2 hours a day at the evening. I'm like trying to make as many phone calls as I can during both of those 2 hours, but it was very hard. So she picked up a lot of the slack during that time, and I'm forever appreciative for that. And this cast has done so well, put in the time. We have Nick, who's always coming in with us. You've seen him on stream with us in-house a couple times. He's driving 3 hours every time we have a show. Every time you've seen him in-house, he's driving 3 hours out here. And Chaz lives literally in Austin. So he's here for a month and a half, taking time out of his actual life. And he literally just left a lease on a house. He's looking for a new house. So we have him in an in-between time. I couldn't be more proud of my cast. I could keep talking about it over and over. I could talk the dogs down with it, but oh my God, they put on a damn funny show this entire month, and I can't wait for what next year has in store. We're gonna do some YouTube sketches, I think. So keep some eyes out for that. Hopefully by the end of summer-ish, let us prepare a little bit for that one. But stuff like that. I'm just really proud, really happy, and ecstatic for everybody. But what was I doing in Africa? Oh, a lot of hiking, man. We were on safari. I took 100 photos of gorillas. I got a couple really cool videos of elephants, like entering the water and stuff. Entering water. It's hard out there. We were in Cameroon, but 5-6 miles from the Congo. So deep Cameroon, and it was awesome. Comedy's not just hard. Watch the England football team biggest joke since 2016. So you're saying Jay is having an aneurysm currently, and it's probably a good thing we don't have it filmed on camera. Or is that a bad thing? It's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing for him at the end of the day. We might not be laughing as hard as we could be, but, But barbecue, don't make me think about barbecue. I love barbecue. I'm also totally going to do that cast party tonight, and I'm not cooking. I might have to just grab something out of my fridge and start cooking it. I feel wrong throwing a party and not cooking. And we're going to order a bunch of pizza and stuff like that, and I'm going to be healthy this coming week and just kind of finale that not healthy eating while this show's going on right there. But if I'm hosting a party, I gotta cook. Y'all know I'm a Texas boy. I gotta grill something up. Some ribs. I don't have time for a brisket, but I can do ribs in a couple hours. I could do that. I love Smosh's Try Not to Laugh improv sketches. Oh, I haven't seen those in years, but they're so good. Just improv in general is just so much fun to do. We literally were at talk about Hollywood stuff. We're at a party. We're in 25, 27 over here, so mid-20s, and then we have friends, and they're low 20s all the way to like mid-30s, low 40s. So we're hanging out with a whole array of people. We went to a little birthday party the other day. Probably had 20, 30, 40 people in there overall. Maybe a little more just throughout the night kind of deal. But it kind of got to the last probably 8, 10, 12 of us at the end of the night, 3 in the frickin' morning, something like that. I think this was actually before the live stream last week, which I only had like 3.5 hours of sleep for. You could probably look back and tell that. We were doing this. There was, I guess, just kind of, the end of the party. And, we always kill the party. We don't kill the party. We stay till the party's done. We end it. That's the way we do it. But it's a room full of actors, room full of musicians. So a couple of the actors were like, let's do some improv stuff, because they're on like classes together. This one friend group that was also there. So they kind of start their little acting stuff over here, and they're doing like little just scenes that are improv. And then one of the musicians is like, okay, I'll try it. So by the end of it, you had everybody just jumping in there doing improv little sketches on the spot kind of deal. And it was just fun. You just toss a scenario in there. Super drunk people, 3 a.m., people from 25 to 42, and it was just a fun little weird evening. But hey, Hollywood, baby, that is what you do sometimes. Hoping Jay isn't watching, LOL. At 81-minute mark, Slovakia 1, England nothing. Damn. Come on, y'all. Come on. The Slovaks are beating you. Is that how you say it? Slovakias. I don't know the proper terminology for a lot of European things. I know English, French, Italians, Estonians, but I don't know. Would you just Slovakians? Is not saying the IAN part not good? Did I just say something bad? It's possible. Anyway, just move past it if I did. If I did, oops, didn't mean to. But if I didn't, life's good. At least a Brit won the F1 today. Ooh, F1. Who won? I don't pay as much attention to F1 as I probably should. He probably doesn't pay enough attention to F1 as he probably should. This is Mr. Carman back here. But, I just like a good race every now and then. And I do have a couple friends that are big F1 people. So I know they're happy. Or not, depending on, I don't know who they actually, root for. If they're rooting for George Russell, they're a happy camper. But if not, they're not, But what do we talked to Chaz earlier. We asked him what he's seen this week. He said just The Acolyte. He forgot something. Because we went and saw a movie this week, which was a little sci-fi, actually. A little cosmic horror. A little more horror-centric, but there are most definitely elements of sci-fi, which I'll get to in a second. Will there be any debate? I can't even speak again. Will there be any debates between you and Jay in the future? Any debates? There will be many debates. Many debates. Between me and Jay, between maybe some just friends of the channel that we get together on here to debate alongside, and maybe I or Jay will be hosting and kind of moderating for people, et cetera, et cetera. We have actually a few different debate topics planned out. And if y'all ever do have any debates that you do want, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram, find me on the Facebook group and DM me there, et cetera, et cetera. Let me know. Same thing for Jay, Stormy, Chaz, any of us. DM us those ideas, and we have a little folder where we put ideas, and we'll toss them back with one another and kind of get the logistics going. By the end of this coming month, I think we want to do at least one debate a month is what we're thinking, and maybe the last week of the month is going to be that, and maybe the third week of every month will be the debate. We're not entirely positive just yet, or maybe we won't switch up Sundays and we'll add a debate day once a month. Well, if you have ideas or if you have preferences, let us know so we can kind of attune to those, of course. But no, there will be many debates in the future, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of people. Greg will come here and debate a bunch of stuff too. You'll be seeing a lot more of Greg soon, hopefully, and a few other things. It's gonna be a fun time. Yes, Monk. Ooh, and because I know you're over there all the time, come get R&B to debate with us. Come get our. Tell me when you're over there in one of those streams. If you're on one of our streams and I see you, say, hey, when you're done, come over here and I'll go get in the RMD. I can't even say words anymore. I'm just speaking so fast. Get into the RMB stream and I'll go in there and I'll back you up and say, hey, man, we got sidetracked. We're a decently sized channel, so on and so forth. We love you. We know your work. Come talk either Star Trek with us later on. But first and foremost, we kind of want to talk some physical media. That's my elevator pitch right there. Can you help me with my elevator pitch whenever we get to this process here? Because that would be awesome to have R&B come over here and do physical media. Who would we get to debate digital media? I mean, I could if I needed to. I prefer. Actually, Nick would be good for digital media. Nick would be very good for digital media. He's literally. I have a giant digital media library on Vudu. I probably have 40, 50, 60, maybe more. I probably have 70 or 80 movies, including like the bundle movies I have. Nick probably has 200 movies on his Vudu. Fandango Now, whatever they're calling it nowadays. So he might be a good person to bring in here for the debate on the digital media side. I don't know if he will want to debate, but we'll ease him into it. I'll see him today for this show. So if you want to see Nick in the show as well, that live stream ticket, which hold up. I just realized I totally probably should copy and paste the ticket thing into the chat. So if you need that, I'm a little slow to the punch on that one, but here you go. Hollywood Fringe Festival, hollywoodfringe.org, and all you type in is good clean or good clean wholesome fun, and you'll see my crazy self pop up there. And clean whole, WHOLE, all one word, no spaces, all caps, $3. And you get to watch something for a whole week. It's fun. Nearly 3,000. I'm confused. 3,000 what? Will Stargate get made before Jay retires? Jay retires from where? His normal job or YouTube? Because I think we'll have Jay on YouTube for forever. There are weeks where he might not be here as much, but I think he'll be here forever. Well, and we'll keep bolstering up Sidetrack with a good group of people because we have such a great group of people to bolster things up with that we're gonna keep moving. But Jay ain't retired. Should artists use Adobe knowing they're stealing your stuff? Chaz, I'm gonna push this one off on you. Peter's asking the question. Should artists use Adobe knowing that they're stealing your stuff?
It's hard because it's like Adobe has a chokehold on the industry in a lot of ways as far as their program. There are cheap and free alternative options, but the unfortunate reality is most people are complaining because it's training the AI models, but if you're posting absolutely anything online anyways, it's being ripped for AI models anyways. I used to work with AI prompting and engineering, so it literally as yes, you could try to use free apps, alternatives and stuff like that. And I hate that Adobe's done that crap because it's ridiculous that they try to pull that kind of stuff. But as far as for the individual, it's just you can try to fight it, but it's, if you put anything online, it's going to get ripped and used in one way or another. But that's also just how, anybody learns anything. They just listen and pay attention and things like that to, things that they see and they pull inspiration. It's just a machine learning that's ending up doing it. But yeah.
Zora is saying hello. Chaz's dog is saying hello real quick. But yeah, so Turkey's voting for Christmas, essentially. Yeah. So yeah, it's not perfect, but then again, what is? So, you kind of just take what you got. Correction 11. Let's get physical media is in 11 minutes. No way. Okay, well, I can't make it today, but you know the deal. And we'll probably end in 11 minutes, honestly. We do have to start getting ready for this show. I'm kind of ready. You can tell I probably washed my hair right before this thing, but I just got to put on some spiffier clothes. We have one final quick rehearsal before everything, and then we're in our last hurrah. So once again, I will ask you, please come see us, come watch us. You'll love it. You will. There's not a soul that hasn't laughed yet. We've literally had grandmas that are over 80 years old. I said 80 earlier. She was like 87. And we've had 16-year-olds. So literally everywhere. What's Oliver saying right here? Legal language tends to be far more overreaching than the actual actions of the parties involved. I'm not sure if they're actually stealing artist stuff at the moment, but time will tell. Yeah, that's kind of, I think, that gray area that they are operating in. And who knows what's going to end up happening besides
Technically,
time.
it's no different than a teacher teaching a student in some ways. It's a little bit more gray because it's bottom line a tool, but it's learning the same way that a student would learn methods on how to do any artwork from a teacher. So it's gonna look similar, but it's gray. It's got to get figured out, and compensation for teaching has to be figured out.
Huh. I haven't thought about it that way, but that makes sense that it essentially is just it's doing what teachers do in a different way. Much more modern, much more fancy tech way of doing it per se, but it is technically doing the same thing, or at least a similar thing in a similar avenue. Huh. Educational usage is different, I would think. Yeah, but by definition, what is educational? Technically, everything is educational nowadays, or at least can be utilized in an educational format. No cloud for me.
Any realistic person who does art or anything like that, hopefully recognizes that maybe AI is a good tool for a step 1 and step 2, but it is not a final step. It should just be for inspiration and for ideas, and that's really about it. If you submit something that's only done with AI, then that's a problem.
Yeah. I think that's a well said way of saying that. Stargate will be made in 2099. We'll see a preview in Blade Runner 2099. Sounds about right at this point. I'll be right back to you, Monk. I cringe to imagine what they'll do to Blade Runner this time around. Yeah, but the animes haven't been bad. They've all been good. We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. But they're usually on for a couple hours. R&B, Robert Meyer Burnett, and Dieter Bastian love to talk about these things. Yeah, they do. They're great. Honestly, if we can't get R&B to come on there for that debate, Dieter would be a fun person to try to get on that debate. That'd be interesting. Nick and Robert Meyer Burnett would be probably the better conversation. Nick, I think it would be interesting. It'd be funny. It'd be funny one way or another. Yeah, I don't know. If y'all aren't familiar with R&B, he's a great channel to go check out. That's Post Geek Singularity or the Burnett Work. I think both. If you type in either one of those, they'll pop up. If you go over there, say, hey, SciTrek sent us over here. They love you, and we would love to have you over on SciTrek eventually, too, if you want to come say howdy at some point. So, all that good stuff. Ooh, Sarah. Do what Sarah says. She's helping me out. I did it at the very beginning, but I haven't done it in the last 49 minutes. So here you go. Okay, well, one more time because I definitely didn't move that thing fast enough. Okay, 5 seconds. That's where my brain went to at first. I just don't think John Campea would come onto a show to debate somebody. He doesn't go to other YouTube channels. I don't know why exactly. I think he's talked about it a little bit on his show, but I don't know. I'd love for him to. If we can bolster a good YouTube community, especially out here in LA, if we can get people being friendly with another, and I mean, hey, we're all in competition, sure, but hey, if we're all friendly and we're all trying to push each other's stuff and make sure we're all doing well, hey, I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I think healthy competition is your best competition, Zat, baby, go! So is it 1-1 now? Slovakia, England 1-1. The entire industries disappeared. Typing, pools, print, typesetters, etc. AI is going to decimate a ton of industries. Yeah, but it's going to bring forth so many more industries that we haven't even begun to comprehend yet. We can try, but I got bored of Campea's condescension. Hey, people are people, you know, and he can be condescending to certain things at times, but there are things that he's. When the dude's excited about something, it's really fun to hear him be excited about something. When he's pissed off about something and ranting, it's really fun to hear him do that. Really, when he's excited about something and like the entire studio of their group of people are excited about something is the most fun when you're watching there. But I really do just like their array of folk that they have. They've got a great group of people. R&B being a frequent can't be a person over there. But yeah. Oh, I'm not familiar. Another choice could be John Rocha. He knows his stuff too. Or Rocha or Rocha. I'm not familiar, but hold up. I will type it in right here. Oh, John Rocha, the politician? Let me type YouTube. John Rocha. Oh, I'm not typing John right. Oops. John Rocha. Oh. John Rocha is a Latino host, reviewer, writer, pundit, and producer. He started the Outlaw Nation channel to freely discuss topics from the worlds of film, TV, and entertainment with a diverse roster of hosts and guests. John also co-hosts 3 successful podcasts in the sphere of film, The Cinephiles, The Hot Mic, and The Geek Buddies, and is a Rotten Tomato-approved critic. Oh, hell yeah. I'm not familiar with the dude, but YouTuber out of San Diego. Hey, San Diego folk, cool. Okay. And I see a cowboy hat the second I go to the dude's page, so I'm a fan of the human being already. Good people wear good cowboy hats, I say. I mean, I just came up with that right there, but that's my new saying. I'm keeping it. But yeah, what have y'all been watching this week? What I was going to mention that we kind of got off topic for and just started discussing other things. We went and saw A Quiet Place Day 1 this week, which was definitely horror-based, horror-centric, you know. But it's squarely sci-fi as well. It's literally aliens falling into this planet and taking it over in a lot of ways, essentially decimating the human population, where if anything even makes a peep of noise, they're so sensitive to that hearing that their hearing is so sensitive that they immediately go attack whatever they just heard. It's awesome. It's inherently sci-fi. And the first 2 movies might have been significantly scarier than this one. But if I had to rate them in order of how much I enjoyed them, I would say the first original Quiet Place, then this one, and then A Quiet Place 2. It was really good. Maybe AI will replace celebratoid news readers, Max Headroom style. Max Headroom would be awesome if we had some stuff like that again. It'd be kind of fun. Finally saw Ministry of Ungentlemanly... that one's a hard one. Finally saw Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Awesome show. It was awesome. It really was. I'm kind of sad for Henry Cavill again. Excuse me. It wasn't as awesome as it should have been. I think the Winston Churchill stuff kind of made it falter a little bit. And it should have been a little more story focused instead of just vibrant. When Guy Ritchie just having kind of fun instead of, focusing on vibrancy instead of the story elements that he had there. I wish he would have focused a little bit more on the story elements, and maybe we would have had more people go out there and see it. I just also feel awful for Henry Cavill getting a second spy franchise opener that doesn't make a spy franchise, because Man from U.N.C.L.E. should have started a franchise. I would have loved 3 or 4 of those movies. They would have been so good. I'm glad Armie Hammer didn't get larger very much, because that dude's a whack job. Eating people is not good. Just putting that out there. Cannibalism, bad. Cannibalism is bad. It's just loved Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I am just sad that never got off, and I think kind of the same sad history. Argyle didn't do well at the very beginning of the year. End of the first quarter, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare didn't do well. That's 3 for 3. I want Henry Cavill to have his own spy franchise. I wish it were James Bond. I think he's a little too old to be... I don't think he's too old to do it. I think he's too old to be picked by one of the Broccoli's to do it. I'd love for that to happen. It's just not going to happen. And neither are apparently any of these other spy franchises. I have hope. There is hope for Argyle, strictly because it's like pertaining to the Kingsman world, but that's about it. Harris frowns on cannibalism. I try to, Hot takes. Anti-cannibalism over here. Sorry, y'all. Unless I'm a zombie. Oh, well, back to our zombie thing. Okay. I see a YouTuber has been posting restored episodes of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. No way. Tell us who. We'll put it in there. Don't worry, Cavill will be in Bond, even if it is as a villain. He would be an excellent Bond villain if he doesn't end up making it as a Bond himself. Would you want him to play an OG Bond villain that's kind of been recharacterized, or would you like him to play a brand new, fresh Bond villain that has never been done before? What would you all prefer? Because honestly, both sound great. Yeah, but I saw it earlier. I forgot to put it up. Peter said Warhammer should be great. Warhammer should be excellent. I'm not super familiar with it, but everything that I've ever heard about it sounds really cool. The only reason I'm not into it is the reason I'm not into D&D and like half the other tabletop games in the world is I know the second I get involved in it, it's going to eat my entire life and livelihood and time up. So I will watch the shows in that case, you know. Blofeld would be awesome. I was thinking Blofeld. He would be good at it. I mean, sure, it's the same character done a few times over, but he'd be really good at it. I do agree with you, Oliver, though. I would prefer, although he would be an awesome Blofeld, I would prefer someone brand new. I need to see some new stuff in the cinema. I agree. Oh, and Bob said, if you want to go see the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, go to Young Indy Restored, the YouTube channel. And there you go. All these YouTube channels we're shouting out today, y'all come say howdy. You know, we want to be friends with you. It'd be great if HC could get a Bond supervillain behind the scenes character that lasts over several movies. That'd be cool. I don't know if they're ever gonna do that, but it would be very cool. It would make sense with everything going on, you know. But I'm also with you. I'd prefer a new Bond villain, but there is one stipulation. He needs to have a cat. Sarah's correct here. There has to be a cat. More cats, the merrier. He looks too much like the Bond stereotype to play the villain. I think that might make a good villain eventually out of him, though. I don't know. Well, okay, Bond needs a major rethink. Bond does need a major rethink. What about a mongoose? Hey, if anybody's going to tame a mongoose, it would be Henry Cavill. So he's got that going for him. All right, y'all. Well, it is 11:02 over here. We have to rush to rehearsal. We have to get dressed, brush our teeth, get out of the house, get this show on the road today. So this is the last time. I hope you'll come hang out with us. You have the stream for a whole week once you get this. And it is a hilarious show that you'll have a great time with. An awesome cast and crew of folk. Break a leg. We will be breaking all kinds of legs. There will be pet sharks with lasers in the show. How did you know? What previous Bond would you want to play a new Bond villain? Craig Brosnan. Brosnan would be good. Craig might be a better villain just generically, but I think Brosnan would be a fun overarching villain in that sense. But yeah, good night, Peter. England 2, Slovakia 1. David's keeping us posted. Hell yeah. Well, check out Good, Clean, Wholesome Fun. Our last show is today. Buy tickets right here, right now. Get on this link. I have the link. I put it in here. Where did I put the link? Oh, my God. This is why technology and I, we're friends, but we're not great friends, technology and I. We get it done. Okay, well, anyway, it should still be copy-paste. I'm going to press paste, do this. Jay's very happy right now. Take care. Bye, everybody. And, you know, come watch some Good, Clean, Wholesome Fun. $3 tickets, clean hold. CLEANWHOLE, all caps, no space. $3 tickets, $5 tickets, Matts, MATTS. We love you. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to do all that good stuff that everyone's always telling you to do. Like this. And we will see you shortly.